Well, welcome everyone. We are live here on our first true Facebook Live with the New York State Parking and Transportation Association. My name is Kevin Wood, and I have with us today a social hour with our president, Jason Jones. We're very, very excited for this. We wanted it to be a fun event. We wanted it to be loose. It's 7 p.m. Hopefully, you're kind of just relaxing, don't take in the news, just relax and have a good time with us. Just a couple of housekeeping things. We wanted you to be notified in case we start to do these again as an association, go live and just give you some updates. So you can do that by just hitting the little bell there and be live. And in a second, I'm going to ask you to unmute Jason. Thanks for standing by there in Albany, New York. Want to also welcome some of our parking professionals and ask that in the comments, which I see here on my computer, that you can just, tell some folks that that are in the business, industry friends, just to join us. We love for you to comment, ask questions, and we're going to be giving some things away. It's just going to be a great session. So I want to welcome our president. Please unmute Jason on Zoom, and we welcome you. How are you?
I'm doing well tonight, Kevin. How are you?
Really, really good. This is great. We were pretty good. We didn't get hung up too much on technical difficulties.
No, that's why you are our leader of our committee on technology.
Yeah, I guess so. I wanted folks that never have met you, or even somebody like myself that actually doesn't know your early background. I kind of, as an interviewer, always ask these things like, where did you grow up? And a little bit of professional background and just how you came about to come into the parking
Sure,
industry.
sure, Kevin. I'll keep this brief. I grew up about 10 minutes outside of Albany in Colony, New York. I actually reside now about 30 minutes north of Albany, what's called Boston Lake, New York. So anybody that's familiar with Saratoga Springs, so really I'm between Albany and Saratoga Springs. Myself, I've been in the parking, transportation, and special event world probably for close to 20 years now. As many people on this call or Facebook Live event would attest, parking wasn't necessarily their choice or their first choice, or really any choice for that matter. It kind of came along with it. So, I was doing special events for several years. I also had worked as a consultant at a transportation management center when an opportunity came to manage parking and transit operations at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. At the time, I was very familiar with transportation, but not so much parking. To me, it was like, all right, I know transportation, and parking kind of came along with the job. A lot has changed since I began that position in 2008. And so, specifically in parking itself, about the last 12 years, I did take a job at the University of Albany 6 years ago, which is my alma mater. I have a degree in geography and minored in planning, so a lot of pedestrian transportation, bicycle type of planning skills. So, here we are, and I'm very excited. I've been a NISPA member or a member of the association for about 10 or 11 years now. Randomly found it through a Google search as I needed help when I entered this parking profession. I didn't know which way to turn. And here we are, 10, 11
Here we
years
are.
later, doing Facebook Live outside my house.
Here we are. So I know that we were talking about who's going to be tuning in. Well, I'm glad to tell you that you've got a bunch of birds in back of you that I can hear that are tuning in.
Okay.
And we've got 11 people watching live. So
All right, that's cool.
that's 11 more than we've ever had. Just
Yes.
want you to know we're making progress. So I want to start with just, the broad strokes of, what's happening in the industry right now. What do you see? What have you seen firsthand with the obvious, the COVID effect, if you will?
Sure. And, as you mentioned, Kevin, not to dig deep into the news here, but I'll relate it as in terms of parking and transportation. Obviously, the effects have been absolutely devastating. And I see it in two ways. One, the private sector has been hit in a way we can only imagine. Private, garage operators, parking lot operators, and a lot of those people we have seen either been, separated from employment, furloughed to come back, and it's, a lot is done from the private parking world, really, private sector as far as events are concerned as well. So, the impact has just been absolutely devastating on that side. When it comes to the public sector, your states and your local, I think anybody that here that lives in New York State understands, the financial picture of what we've been faced with, and how do we go about doing that. So in that aspect, a lot of our jobs are protected. At the same time, how we move going forward is just the great unknown. There's been losses in revenue as it relates to parking citations. A lot of us have waived, citations, and so that's been
Mhm.
a lost revenue for events. So, all across the board, it's been absolutely devastating, and that's where we're just trying to. I think one of the critical components right now is really just try to stay afloat, do the best we can with the resources that we have currently, and kind of expect some changes. And let's face it, the financial picture in New York State is not going to just automatically rebound. This could be a good 18 to 24-month rebound, as far as parking is concerned specifically.
So I have a small story for myself, but I'll ask you, give me a positive. What's going to positively come through this? I'd like to tell you something that I think there's positive happening here in Port Jefferson. I should mention that I'm the parking administrator in Port Jefferson on Long Island, right on the harbor, and we're a small village, 600 parking spaces. I'm seeing some positive coming out of this. What are you seeing possibly in a positive realm coming out of this?
Well, Kevin, as far as the positives are concerned, one is our ability to do virtual work, or remote types of sessions. And I think you also see the impacts that carbon emissions certainly have on the world. I've been seeing a lot of images as it relates to the reduction in traffic and really what that means for the environment. So you can see a direct correlation when you limit traffic, how much the smog goes down, how much the carbon emissions go down. It has been absolutely stark. Wildlife being out on the roadways and all kinds of things. So you are seeing really how fossil fuels do impact the environment. So I do believe the drive towards sustainability will be even greater. It'll be renewed. I certainly do envision us struggling in terms of car share, bike share, mass transit. I mean, not everybody's looking to get back into, um, you know, crowding in on a bus or sharing a car with somebody. But at the same time, I do believe the ability to telecommute will turn into a positive. There'll be less vehicles on the road. It'll improve, certainly our carbon. It'll reduce our carbon footprint. And so, when we want to talk about some positives, that question was really related to me from a transportation side.
Right,
Every day, many of us, I think, have driven without traffic that we're normally used to, right?
right.
And I can certainly
Well,
envision that moving forward.
yeah, I mean, I have to say two things. One is we're surrounded by water here on Long Island, and I can tell you the water looks and feels cleaner. Um, it's amazing. There's some been things that have been cleared up, but right down to parking, I thought that's something that I can personally attest to is we had always had a plan, and it's no secret. I ask this every meeting, is how soon will we be meterless, right? In a digital world, why do municipalities need meters? And I say that with great respect to the companies that are in the hardware industry. Well, we had a timeline that went out to 2024 to be meterless. The COVID seems to be saying, wait a minute, people don't want contact now. So the point is, it's driven things quicker to get to a certain goal. But not only that, you could argue that it's efficiency. There are great losses here. I had heard some of the losses in some of our directors. They're great losses. They're terrible. But I think it's going to force some efficiency. So we'll
Yes,
see.
contactless seems to be the way to go, either from delivering a pizza or even, when we start talking about meters and mobile pay. And you think about all the things that we used to do, that mobile pay will take off even greater now, even
Exactly.
in areas where it was already prevalent, even more so right now.
So my question is, when do we get to see loud, live, loud rock and roll with 60,000 people in a stadium? That's what I'm looking to get back to. Is that going to happen?
That is going to be a while.
It's gonna be a while.
Yes, depending on what state you're in, I guess. But
Right.
as
Right.
far as New York State concerned, the directive we have had,
Or a sporting
um,
event. Or a
we
sporting event.
we are going to be out of commission for quite some time.
All right, let's take a break. Let's have some fun. We do have
Sure.
quite a bit of onlookers. We appreciate you tuning in, everybody. We want to give something away. We said we wanted this to be fun. So what do we want to give away, Jason? Let's give away, tell you what, let's give away a free membership
We can do that.
to this great organization.
Yeah, 1 year
Right?
membership from July 1st to June 30th. So 1 year.
Excellent for any type of member. So here's the question. The first person that comments, right down below where we're speaking, and we have a little bit of delay, so we're going to have to wait, and gets this answer right, we'll get a membership. Amazing, right? So here's the question. How many states have land-only borders with New York State, right? This is the New York State Association. How many states have a land-only border with New York State? So if you know that answer, go ahead and comment. You know what? We can move on to, and we'll see who comments first gets the right answer, and
Yeah.
then we'll answer that, and we'll be giving some items away as well a little bit later. You know, I just want to on this break say that so many things that I enjoyed about this association. I think I'm 2 years now as a board member. Is getting together. I can't tell you how much I've learned, and I really want to talk to the fact that some of us are in our own cocoons here, right? We do our own operation day to day. Then you get out and you go, oh, you do it that way, or wow, you experience this, and I think you can't put a value on that. It's really great to be able to do that in all parts of the state. So right now, I'm telling you, I'm missing some of the
Yeah.
events. You know,
The association makes you feel like you're not alone, and any of the state and regional associations, really. I mean, when you go out there and gee, just say the same thing, and someone's like, "Yep, I did that. I lived through that." So you realize you're not alone, and we're all faced with the same challenges as well as we also have the same successes, and we can build upon those and pass along ideas. This is not a I'm gonna take ownership of this. This is about expanding the industry, and that'll only strengthen all of us as a whole.
no doubt. I want to move to our association with regard to that. Nice segue, and talk about really, in your words, what has the association done? Just say over the last year. You want to go to 2 years, that's fine, and what's been happening during this period that's the pandemic period to keep things alive.
Well, I over the last 2 years, we were the New York State Parking Association. We have transitioned to the New York State Parking and Transportation Association. So we did move in that direction. We also built a new website. It was the first change since 2010. So that was positive. We also strengthened the board with members like Kevin here. There was not as much downstate New York representation on the board as we had hoped. We really, one of our main goals is diversity. And we were really lacking in that. We had a lot of upstate members, university members, and that has changed around in the last 2 years. And I want to say, off the top of my head, of the 12 board members we have, I believe 5 right now were in Westchester County or below. So a very good sign, as New York State is very large. It was one of my goals to connect the upstate and the downstate region. And many of us that live in New York State here, there's a big differentiation between what upstate and downstate is and where it actually starts. Some believe it starts north of the George Washington Bridge, right?
That's right.
But for the most part, our goal was really to connect to the large portions of the state and diversify with municipalities, with people within New York City themselves. So right now we have a member in Westchester, a member in New York City. We have 3 members operating, or 2 members operating off of Long Island, and I believe there's actually 2 in New York
3.
City itself. So yeah,
Right.
yeah. So
Right. Didn't we get the East End Sag Harbor, Kathleen?
uh, as a member, not as a board member though.
Right.
So
Right.
so yeah, we continue to expand, and it's been great. What have we been doing in relation to COVID-19? That's where we have had our challenges, right? We've canceled our spring event in New York City, which was traditionally attended. We started up that event 5 years ago. There was 30 people. We had it up to 80 in 2019. So 2.5 time increase there, which was phenomenal. we've canceled our summer event, our summer retreat, which would have been our 12th annual in Syracuse, a very fun frontline event for those that traditionally don't go to the larger conferences. And it's a 1 day event where you kind of have some clams and some food and some burgers, just really, really
Yeah, that
good
was
for your
awesome.
frontline staff. And even so, for the first time, I believe in 28 years, our fall conference has been canceled in Watkins Glen. So, when you talk about, do we want to have the conference? Absolutely. But at the same time, we understand the financial ramifications that people have been put through, the social ramifications. Does anybody just want to get back together right now? And again,
Hmm.
we all understand people want to get together, but maybe not as in large groups. And on top of that, we just don't want to have a lame event, right? We've all been maybe to a baseball game or a concert where there's less than average attendance and the energy's not there.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't want to
There's a
have
cloud. There's a cloud.
yeah, we don't want to have an energy less conference. So it's in our best interest to continue to move forward with webinars. We have done some collaborations with the New England Parking Council, some joint webinars because we're all been doing webinars and Zooms for 4 or 5 months now, right? So our associations got together and said, you know what, let's just do some joint webinars. That way, instead of us doing three and them doing three, we'll combine them, and that way, it's just instead of six, it's three, right? So we have found some good method there, and as kind of a segue to one of those questions or a follow up, yes, Massachusetts is one of the states that borders New York and a few others. So, do we have any winners on that question, Kevin?
Not just yet, but you could give a hint, which I think you just gave one of the five, right? And we'll continue
Yes,
that. I'll repeat the question. That's okay. We want people
sure.
to win some stuff, and we have some gift certificates as well. That first question was how many states have a land only? And I think that's
Yeah,
the key there. I like what you
yes.
said. Land only border with New York. Guys, you see me doing two things at once. I'm commenting to you. Get your questions ready. Those questions could be about parking, the industry, the future, joining, whatever you like. Put them right down there. I know that we have at least 15 to 16 people watching now. So ask your questions.
We
I'm
also,
going to,
if the membership is not enticing, we also have a $25 gift card to give away. So maybe that'll generate
okay,
some,
okay.
right?
Yes.
Maybe everybody online is a member, so they don't need the membership. So
So let's do this. Let's call 2020 a very iffy year, very
yes,
bizarre year in every way, right? We have, and it's not over by any means. We have some bizarre things coming up, as you know, over the next couple of months. Um, let's talk 2021. Why
sure.
not? We already have plans. I know that. We already have goals. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. 2021, we are already set up to do our three events. We're pushing ahead as if we're going to be able to move forward. We're likely going to have an event at Pace University again, sometime in March of 2021, as Kevin indicated. We also originally had a deposit down for our Syracuse location for this summer, so we're just going to move that ahead to next summer. And also Watkins Glen, same thing. We had a deposit in place. So we will return to Watkins Glen, or really go there as we intended to this year, next year. So yeah, we did put out some finances this year, but those will carry forward to next year. So a lot of the places are willing to work with us. Watkins Glen is in the Finger Lakes region. We were looking to have a wine tasting event.
Like
We're
that.
looking to have a racetrack event, not together, obviously, but we were looking to drive some cars out there on the Watkins Glen racetrack. Again, a bus with a wine tasting tour. So we had a lot planned and a lot of fun. So that's why, again, we didn't want to have some kind of lackadaisical or not as exciting event, right? So 2021 is really setting up, and also we want again facilitate and make sure our membership base is strong and continue the connection through Facebook Live, through our webinars. We are all I see my parking friends in person literally 2 to 3 times a year. So 2020 has been absolutely devastating. So in 2021, if we can hug, and all those people out there know they will get a big hug from me. If not, they'll get a nice air hug or a fist pump or whatever we have to do in that time frame. But I do miss everybody and very much look forward to continuing to strengthen the association. And 2021 will be likely my fourth and final year as president. So I do plan on giving it everything I have over these last 12 to 18 months to make sure the association finishes strong. is in a great financial position, and we're not immune to this, right? The industry's been hit hard, the associations have been hit hard, but I'm going to make sure when I leave this post, we're going to be in a great financial and industry standing.
Well said. Thank you. Thank you for your service too. We've been really happy with you, Jason. We're just going to keep voting for you.
No,
You'll
that's
be
good. Now, 4 years is
29,
good. 4 years is
2090,
good. Yeah.
2090. I will report that Jennifer Daly is very close with answering that question. She says, is there 4 states? I gave her a hint. There's 5. If she names the 5 states, she's in. Let me ask another question for another
Sure.
prize.
Yeah.
Yeah, why
Cool.
not? Why not? Why not? Wow, this is a great question. Largest transportation network in North America, because you're a transportation guy. See, I wouldn't know this,
Sure.
even though
Yeah.
hint, hint, I'm pretty damn close. Largest transportation network in North America. Guys, put it in your comments. I'm on here with Jason, and over here I'm answering you at the same time because I'm a Gemini. That's what we do. We do 2 things at once all the time. Drives my wife crazy. So largest transportation network in North America. That's a second question. We'll give the $25 gift certificate away from that. If you're already a member, we'll give you that. If you're not a member, we're going to give you a free membership, correct?
Yeah. Sure.
All right, let's move on and ask you, what can non-members, right? This is obvious. What can non-members do? They can stay engaged and they can join. What can members and non-members do to support? And why are they supporting? Why is it important to support and to remain active with the New York State Parking and Transport? Why is that important? Who goes to us to ask the questions that need to be answered?
Yeah. I have been getting a lot of this, and a lot of times I get a lot of references, and what I can do is a lot of times serve as a conduit or a liaison between the various people within the association, right? So once you're a member, Jason, I have this issue. You know what? I can reach out to somebody. Someone needs an RFP. I know someone who already did the RFP. Someone needs a job description. I may have a job description, or at least know somebody that has it. So the networking part of this and the availability for information is unbelievable. We have a couple hundred members, really. Not as many organizations. So let's say one company may have 3 or 4 members, but in total, if we have a couple hundred members, there's always a resource and always someone you can go to. It has just been absolutely, I've made so many friends and people that, normally, I'll give you an example. You know what? Someone always sends you an email, you never answer it, right? I can pick up the phone for a majority of these people and they'll answer right away. I send an email, they get right back. You're not that one of 100 emails anymore. Jason Jones is reaching out, and same with
What
our
time?
board.
What time did you text me the other morning? Let's be honest here.
No, you texted me.
Oh, I. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
What did you? You're right. Up with the roosters.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was like 6:04.
Kevin's an early bird, and
6:04. That's really not good.
No, it was probably one of my telecommuting days. But the association's been great, and the friends, the amount of information you can receive. So you know what, and let's face it, I'll put this gently. Our membership dues aren't like extravagant, right? $50 for a regular member, or $100 for a vendor for a year. They're
It's
not
a great deal.
they're not out of bounds,
Yep.
and for what you get with the association, the amount of information, it's pretty good. And again, we enjoy having everybody answer a lot of questions. And my job at the University of Albany is very active, but the association takes that away a little bit, and it's like having that extra resource out there. And even when I was just a regular member, not a board member, not the president, I learned so much, and I knew my time would come when I saw a lot of people retiring from the industry. It's not a lot of us that are upcoming or have been here to continue to carry that torch. And that's what I've tried to do, and that's what I'm trying to instill in others.
Awesome. Well said. We have somebody that's very close on that one question. Anne Marie says Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts and Vermont. Interesting, right? Because she named 6. Really, you gotta help her. You gotta help her.
Well, we will take 6, even though the question did specify land borders. Rhode Island does border New York State as a maritime border. Very little known fact. Through Kevin's area of Long Island Sound. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. That's very cool. So Amy, I'm sorry, I said Anne Marie. Amy Marie.
Okay, perfect.
She's actually right. So yeah,
Yeah, sure,
Amy, whatever you want, either a membership or a gift card. We'll figure it out.
sure.
Thank you. The second question we asked, and I'm going to repeat it just so you guys have a chance to have a little fun here. Largest transportation network in North America. Someone answered New Jersey Transit. I told John he's close, but Jonna, you can't answer. I don't think you, I don't think you can answer. She says New York City Transit. Guess what? That's not correct either, right? That's not really the correct name.
That is accurate.
So let's give a hint. It is in the metropolitan area of New York City.
Sure.
So somebody comment. You should get that. There's a lot of overpaid people there. How's that? A lot of overtime in the news. Oh man. So and let's ask a new question. This is a great one. I love this one, Jason. What kind of vehicle does Jason drive? What kind of vehicle does Jason drive? You wouldn't know that unless you knew him, or if I gave you this hint. Synonymous with Australia and steak. Australia and steak. Anybody can answer that, and we'll have a prize for you there too. You know what? I'm going to ask one more question because I love this question.
Sure.
This
Yeah,
this
go ahead.
actually this sets the standard for our industry. John, you back me up on this one, please. What year was the first parking meter in use, and what state was it in? This is great. We're going to publish this. This is probably in some instances the end of the world, and some instances the start of a great business.
Yeah.
Right? What year was the
I
first
think I know
parking
the
meter
answer
in
to this one.
use? Well, let's see if you do know it. Do you know it?
Oh, I don't want to give it away.
You don't want to give it away.
When the answer comes through, I bet you, I think I can answer this one.
Okay.
But Kevin, I know we talked about keeping it brief this evening, and if there's anything out there you want to ask me, is there any questions that we can help with?
Yes, I do want to ask
We're
you.
also providing a 50% off of membership joining tonight or renewing. So if anybody's interested in joining our association, we'll actually give you 50% off our regular membership price, and we can send you the details on order to do that. So
Guess
we're
what? I just put the details up,
there you go. Good.
including the code and including the URL. But guess what? We have a winner chicken dinner. We have someone that answered this correctly. Jennifer Daly says Subaru Outback. Is that what you drive?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Congratulations, Jennifer.
Yes. Good.
Our illustrious board member, John, will take care of all these prices. All right? She'll take care of all. All right. David Lieb says Kansas in the 30s, first meter. It's pretty darn close. It is in the West, which is interesting, right? It wasn't on, the coast.
Yeah, I want to say potentially somewhere in Nebraska, but I could be wrong.
All right, we're checking in with a lot of people. 53 comments already. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty darn good. All right, let's get a few more people answering this.
So the Outback question has been answered, and the state question has been answered.
That's right.
So we're waiting on the largest transportation network in the United States.
That's right. That's our last one that hasn't been answered.
This should be an easy one.
The largest transportation
network. They have subways.
Network.
They have buses.
Yeah.
Is ferry part of that?
Who?
Is the ferry system part of that?
It's a great question. Staten Island ferry? I don't know. Maybe someone can answer that too. So guys, we're trying this out. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying it. Maybe next time we'll do a more interactive Zoom where a few of you get on. We wanted to really kind of just get this, succinct. You guys are giving us your time. We totally appreciate you being on. So answer those questions. We'll follow up on that. I've given you the 50 off to become a member. I'd love for you to tag other parking professionals. I really want to thank you, Jason, for doing this. I think it was a great idea. And thank you for keeping it positive, keeping it light, and keeping us going.
Yeah, and I think that's what we want to do. So maybe you came here tonight, again, just, I have a Sprite and cherry juice here, right? We can sit here and talk about the effects of COVID, how devastating it has been, not just industry-wide, but just in terms of just, civilization, really. I mean, it's been absolutely gut wrenching. So, I know many of you are interested of the return to work or how we're going to operate buses in the fall or how we're going to handle parking. And I think those are a lot of unknowns. And I think we've all been through enough webinars over the last few months to understand that, the answers may not necessarily be there. We have strategies, social distancing on buses, what your capacities are. And we have that information, and we could certainly do another session that's more, focused. But tonight again was kind of a say hello again to everybody, reintroduce ourselves a little bit, talk to you about our membership, what we're seeing out there, the people that are affected, what to expect from the association. So as Kevin indicated, our goal is really to keep it positive this evening, and not, and step out of the company walls again, or your organization, where it's just been very, very stressful. And who knows what any of us are going to do. Myself, I work at a Division I university, 17,000 students, going to be a little less this semester. How are we going to transport them around? How are we going to, what's class schedules going to look like? Food, dining, or, how many people in a resident hall? So, and I also talked to my private sector partners that have just been absolutely decimated as far as staff and finances. So, you have the work challenges, and then you also have the personal. So I hope tonight a little bit we put a smile on your face. We gave away a couple prizes, tried something different, here at 7 o'clock at night. And, if it was something that was of interest to you, we can do it again, So, but yeah, trying to get away from the hard webinar and more just, say hello, everybody.
Well
And,
done.
and,
Yeah.
and I miss you very much.
Well done. I too want to thank everybody. Thank everybody for participating. Please share this link. Investigate the organization if you've never seen us. I know some people just like our Facebook page. You haven't seen our website. Go to the website, join, have your friends join. We will award those prizes. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. We are right on target for what we wanted to do is a half hour. Thanks again, Jason.
All
We'll
right.
see you
Thanks a
guys
lot,
soon.
Kevin.
You
Thanks,
take care.
everyone. Thanks for joining.
Take care.